Hi guys, good morning. So today the topic is default pages in .NET Core. I'm going to start a brief discussion about that, and also I will have some the practical knowledge, and one by one I will create the simple application, and one by one I will start explaining like the pages which are coming when you will create that any application in .NET, and the default pages is coming with that application. So what are the specific use for that one? I will explain one by one. So let me open that Visual Studio 2020 currently 2022 currently I'm having. So first I will open the Visual Studio and I will go to that create new project. Here I will select that ASP.NET Core Web App. Then click on the next. I will put some name of the application. And here is your location. You can put the random location. As of now, I'm using this location. I've created the folder inside the recording session, practice project, and I've given the name of project. Once I will click on the next, it has to be saved in that particular drive. And here is a one option that is place solutions and project in the same directory. If you wanted to be create some application where you want to be add more project inside the application, then you should be use the solution. Otherwise, if you want to use only one application in that project, so directly do not check this one. If you want multiple project need to be add in that, you can use the solutions. Otherwise, no need to be created. So I will click on the next button. While clicking on the next button, there is a next steps. We have the framework. As we know that ASP.NET the .NET totally based on the framework like ASP.NET, MVC, ASP, ASP.NET. These are depend upon the framework. So every framework has the different rules, different directories, different libraries, different new get packages will be there. So here we have that the .NET kind of other versions will we have .NET Core 2.1, 3.1. As of now, we are using the .NET Core. So we have the different kind of the release will be there. .NET Core 2.1 out of support, and there is out of support. You will get the limited support in this one, but in .NET 6.0 we should have the long-term support. Means you will get the long support from if having any issues. If you have the license version, you directly need to be connect with the communities of .NET Core and discuss about these are the issues I am getting, and I want to help from you. So there are some support guys they need to be shared, and also there are some communities you will raise your questions, they will get the time, and hopefully they will come with that resolution or they will reply something. You can mail that one. There is a .NET 7 which is the currently the standard version. You can also use that one. It has also helpful for you. So here I am going to use the standard one. The long term support will have, and you can see that the configuration is configure for HTTPS and Docker will be there. If you will be enabled for Docker, there are some others like way of Docker like maintaining the kind of storage images, you will get the option. But as of now I am going to be create the simple application, so we can use directly whatever the default coming. So in previous traditional way like MVC, you haven't gone through this one like HTTP or something in API you got, but now in .NET Core they are giving the default things. If you already you are not interested in that, you can then check out. But if you are using the HTTPS, that is the extra more security will be here. And there is also like kind of do not use label statement, but yeah, this can be accessible. So, and also we have the authentication authorization types of individual account and Microsoft identity. Windows will have. So there are three default authentications they have given based on your acceptance criteria given by the client the requirement. You can use it, or else like the teams has to be suggested based on that you can recognize that one also. So now I'm going to create one by using the default.
Oh,
So as I told you, I will just follow the default things, whatever having as of now in .NET Core, like the simple web application. So I have followed that steps, whatever the default we have. So here it has the default generated like the connected services and dependencies, properties, root, app pages, and app settings and program.cs. Okay. And one thing also I am going to be highlight here, I am using the .NET Core 6.0, and the tools, the Visual Studio I am using 2020. So it is higher updated version. So you will get some new things like rather than you are using 2015 or 2017 you are using or 19. So there are some differences you will get into the UI level as well as on the also page level like in traditional way of 2015 and 2019 you creating the same way you will get the different outlook of default pages, but in .NET Core you will get the limited things which is required in required for the application. You should not get the unnecessary things unnecessary like the coded the extra code will you will get. No, it's depend upon your requirement, you can add it. Okay, so here I'm going to build the solution. We'll check whether is there any kind of errors or not. If it's not error, will I have to be run and then check yeah it is working properly or not. So I build success here and zero fails will be have. So let me run first. Okay, so now the finally the application has been created and working properly. So we got that the welcome kind of things, the default welcome. And here you can see that the URL and local host will be 7196 with the port number. And you can see that the lock, right? The lockers will you will have. So previously, when we are creating into the traditional way of MVCs or some others, we are not selecting the HTTPS. For making this one, the locker HTTPS, what we generally use, we need to create some codings or we have to be use some certifications like SSL certifications will be there. Then you can connect with the admin team. Admin will suggest you this certification. You can use it, and by using the certification, you have to be do some codings or some process you need to be follow and attach this URL in somewhere based on the SSL certificates configuration. But in .NET Core by default it is giving if you want you can choose this one. So that is the one kind of securities will have. So here I am going to be explain what are the default kind of pages as of now. So before going to explain all the pages, is there any doubt you guys have?
no, no, Siddharth. Can you?
Okay. Okay, thanks. Sounds good. So here is, service connected will have. So if any extra services you want to be connect here, you can add it here by as a reference. Previously in there is no option like Azure services you want to be create or the SQL services kind of or any extra services you want to be, but that services belong to mostly the kind of cloud or databases generally they are using here. So the extra things is this one. But traditional way, you just created somewhere in your application and then connection string you are making something. But here, if you want to be use some storage kind of services or the signal or like chat process kind of or keyword secret key you will generate into the Azure and that you can use so that extra kind of securities you can maintain. You can add it the services and manage this whatever have. Here is the dependencies. Like analyzer, we have like predefined what are the things we'll have like the ASP.NET Core. analyzer app.analyzer compatibles.stk. So for one application in .NET Core, whatever the dependencies has to be required by default it has given while creating the application. So you will get the analyzer. But if wanted some NuGet packet you want to be add here,
Siraj, analyzer same as a package, maybe.
yes, 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 I will come to the package as well.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Uh,
So here is the framework, right? So in framework, we should have like ASP.NET Core we are using. So and also if anything you wanted to be add from the NuGet packet now, so that will come into the framework kind of information you are adding, you will get here. Okay. And also there are some dependencies you are creating from the NuGet packet. Also, you can create some like own kind of dependencies as well, like by using the references or NuGet package from that you can use it. So it has to be come in that particular the areas. Okay. Now come to the properties. So in property, there are some configuration you can do it like setting your environment like development environment, or you are launching the application in development environment or else production environment, UAT environment. Kind of the development configuration you need to be add in property sections. So here is the launch dot setting dot JSON. What you will do by default you will get this one, right? 450444309 and HTTP this one. This is true or false, something like authentication will have. You will get kind of information. But for project, the first one project will have, this one is the port number or URL you can use it. And there you can see the development, right? ASP.NET environment development. So environment will be the development. By default, the .NET Core will give you the development environment. But if you are developer, you have done everything and you wanted to send the same thing into the different environment. So there is a app setting. I will come with that how it has to be worked. So there is a IS Express also will have to be like run into the development environment. So here is you can see that the IS Express also. So when you will running this one now, it has to be come with the IS Express and then check this is development environment. Yeah, if it's development environment, it will run by using the development environment configuration. If you are using the web app first, so you can see that web app first will be there and the project will be there. It is in which environment? Development environment. So that how the launch setting dot JSON will work. Okay, now I will move into the root dot www root. So you can see the icon like global icon, internet icon will be there. So whenever anything like implementing into the client of purpose like for UI label, you should be add in root.config like for CSS, jQuery, JavaScript or any bootstrap kind of library. So the client side library you need to be used into the www root. This is the professionalism that we need to be follow in ASP.NET Core. Now comes to the page. So default pages will have like share pages will have, and we have the view start, indexes, and privacy pages. So I will go by one. You can see that layout, right? So layout, I actually that's why default we have the layout, because we want to be we want to be map as a master kind of pages, single pages, so that when we are running, that layout pages has to be open. So you can see that I have run this one application. You can see that the default pages will have. So this is the default pages. So basically this is the layout pages actually. Okay. You can see that.
okay.
Okay. And menu, whatever menu you have created, this one and this one menu will be there. In traditional MVC, this was not like that. You can just pass the action and action and method, and also like controllers you need to be passed and then go to the indexes. But in ASP.NET, little bit different. But anyhow, If you don't know about the syntax of .NET Core, you can refer that page, the code of MVC. That will also work here, no issues. But that the main professionalism you need to be use the ASP.NET Core kind of concept and codes only. So that would be better for your scalability and understandable to everyone. Now comes to the validation script. This is the partial view somewhere they are calling. Okay. And import also they have created something you need to be the pages helpers will be there. You can import here. View start is playing the good role when your application is running. First, your page has to be start from the view start only, right? But someone is asking like why we are not implementing anything into the view start, why we are implementing all the layout into the layout system. So for synchronizing, making the separation should not be disturbed into the view underscore view start.cs. So we have created the layout by default. In layout, whatever the menu you wanted to be implement, there you can implement. But when application will run, first page will start from the view start only. So that's why the layout things we have called into the view start. So while running, first the application run by the view start only, and view start check is there any layout will be there, so it has to be run here. So it will call this one layout, and layout will call all over that the indexes or whatever the menus you have created, that one will be implemented here, and rendering whatever the page jQuery and JavaScript will have, it has to be rendered here.
Okay. So basically we start use for firstly call which class, sorry, which CSS HTML page we want to firstly call. So that's
Right,
why.
right, right. There is no like kind of the mandatory things you can create the layout only. You can create the other page as well as per your convenience.
Yeah,
But basically,
yeah.
the professionalism says you can use the layout only, so that if I am a currently I am a developer of this application and somehow I resign this company and went somewhere, and some new peoples are coming into your application, they should directly understand because of universal thought. Every layout should have the first implementation of the dashboard, right? So they will go through that one directly. They will click on layout and check this one. They will not debug. Okay. But if you will use the different thing, they will go to the startup page and then will check which page we have called by the developers, and then they can identify by starting this page is working.
Okay.
Got it? Any question as of now, guys?
No, no.
Manish and Jitender and Gaurav.
Clear route.
Sorry.
Oh, done.
Okay. Thank you. So sounds good. I am moving to the next. Okay. So there is a error, right? There is a error implementation. So error by default, the ASP.NET by default given the error. You can customize the error as well, and also you can create that own error pages or something. But if you will create the error, that would be make a professional jam. And also like models or request ID, whatever having the problem. So you can, as per your requirement, you can create that one the messages as well. But it should be generic. Any exceptions are coming, it will be come from there only. And where it they have called, I will tell you in program.cs. Here you can see that. For use any exception, this is the actual middleware, actually starting the middleware from here only. Okay, so exception are coming into the handler, so directly the error page will show. It should not be so like something the yellow color or green color or red color something that error message. No, professionalism say that you can share some error pages, so that like not found or something like that, something technical problem, whatever the message you required as per the client customer requirement, you can put it there, but you should not be so that exact the exceptions are coming. You can store somewhere the exception. So that's how the error messages will work. And index, here they have like created the default pages, index home pages, rendering the home pages here. Okay. So index will have to be kind of home pages welcome something they have written. You can add as your one, and directly they have called into the partial as a layout pages. Privacy, they have created one page so that in menu it has to be work like here. For making the menu, it has. For home, this one. Okay. For index, this one, and privacy, this one. Uh, Now coming to the JSON, app setting.json. This is very important when you are a ASP.NET developer. ASP.NET suggestions will have all the configuration like the connection string or any third parties you are calling, any others URL you are calling. You need to be maintain all these things into the app setting. So basically configuration things for calling any APIs, extra third party tools, third party URL you want to be called, or or the multiple database connection you want to call, you can put the implementation here like connection string or like any API or URL you are calling. You can just add here and configure all these things in app setting. Okay. Now coming to have why app setting, but if having the different environment like we have the development, we have the UAT, we have the pre-prod, we have the production. So how we can identify this app setting is belong to the production or development or is pre-prod or production. So for that, what we can use it, we have the arrow, like we can create the development kind of JSON. So when developer will have to be develop anything for development environment, and they want to be push the data into the development environment, just they will go into the properties folder, and there is a launch.json. They will put the development here. So directly it will take the configuration from app.setting by using the development files. If you are a person, you want to be make a configuration into QAT environment, there are different environment. You can again create the another page and will have like that app app setting dot development. So app setting dot QAT or UAT dot JSON. So you will put the QAT into the launch dot setting. QAT will be there. So while uploading or like publishing the data and sending to the respective environment, you will put based on that your sending the data, sending the published code into that particular environment. Any doubt?
No, got it.
So for production and the pre-prod also, you will create the separate app setting.json inside the app setting. So directly it will work here. Like you can get the reference and add it here.
Okay.
Now coming to the program.cs, earlier version before 6.0, .NET Core 6.0, when we are creating the default pages, we have the program and a startup.cs as well. But now Microsoft has done some optimization to reduce some code. They have they said like you need to be implementing program.cs only rather than you create the startup.cs. So everything need to be in program.cs only. So here I am coming with the configuration like what the related configuration we can use. We can use like any kind of dependencies you are using, any services your Razor View pages you are using, or MVCs or API or database connection string you are adding. That also you can use here. The connection things you can add here or dependency injection mapping with uh, the interface with implementation class, and you are calling the same interface as a dependency injection into the controller. So that will have to be useful for you. So here you need to be do the configuration. As we know that in the ASP.NET Core, we have the inbuilt feature of IOC, inversion of control. So directly you can add, there are three types: add scope, transient, and singleton. Later coming chapters, you will see that how dependency things is going to be work. So directly you can have to the configuration. But in traditional way, like in MVC, we have a different way. We need to be install the unity.config from the NuGet packet. You will get there is a folder which is app start. Inside the app start, there are two CS file. One is root.config. where you can maintain the root, but there is also one unity.config. So just a minute. Okay. So, so in traditional way, you will like see the Unity config you need to be installed, and global.asx will be there, and Unity config you can call into the global.asx. Then you can implement the different classes and mapping mapper will be there. They will satisfy this one, right?
Yeah, here we don't need the startup.cs file.
No, here we do not need any updated version.
Okay, okay.
Above 6.0, we do not have the startup.cl. Anyhow, if you wanted, you can add it, but Microsoft said that we have optimized. You can use into the
Okay.
program.cs only.
So we can mention here everything which is used in starter.cs and we can use in the program.cs file.
Exactly. Whatever previously configuration we were doing into the startup.cs, now we are going to implement in program.cs itself.
Okay.
Okay, so we are reducing one extra class. So you can see that maximum files we have like reduced in .NET Core updated version.
Okay.
Okay, so the configuration for part will be discussed here, we will be implement here, and before that services inside the services, and whatever the middleware you want, you can like use here. Like we are using here routing, authorization, mapping, browsers, whatever. So these are the middleware you can implement here, and you can see that here, right? App.environment is development, right? So whenever
Siraj,
you,
Siraj,
yeah,
I have one question. If you
go ahead.
want to create the same things in the previous version, maybe 19, so it will be work or not? Maybe not work.
I'm not sure, mm, but the same configuration you can just copy and paste this one. Same configuration you can put in startup.cs. It will work.
No, no, I'm not talking about the start.cs. Same thing is the program.cs file. If I create the same program.files in our application and we don't use the start.cs
I believe
class,
that should be work. I believe that should be work. I believe that should
oh,
be work.
okay,
Only this, the buyer well builder, that web application that create builder, right?
okay,
So this need to be create, and then whenever you are adding some services, whatever having in existing, you can just use the app services dot add browser. If the intelligence coming, then it has to be work. If it is not coming, it will
okay.
say some error message. You can install, I think, from NuGet package as well.
I check.
Okay, so here
Okay.
I am going to try to, here you can give that in the environment kind of pipeline is development or the production or QAT. Based on, also you can mention here like if else condition you can put here, like if development, that is okay. If we are running the same application in development, it will work in development way. If we are not running into the development, there are some other else condition for QAT or UATs. Got it?
Got it.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's pretty much we are good as of now. I have explained bit by bit every pages. And if you wanted something like controller or something, you can do add now. You can add the folder and then start implementing it.
Now Gaurav has joined it.
Okay. So guys, do you have any questions? Or
Not from here. I have a question for .NET overview. Uh, does
okay,
it
just a
have
minute,
any impact?
just a minute
Okay,
for overview. I will be have after
okay,
this session. Yeah. For
okay,
this one,
okay.
having any questions, anyone, I will try to
No,
give
no.
the answer. Manish Jitender, please open your mouth. It should be helpful for me.
Or
Okay.
Siraj, this question can be related to this as well. Like this, this startup application startup is for web application only, right?
Yeah,
This
for web application.
configuration.
Yeah,
If we said .NET Core is platform independent, and tomorrow if I developing an application for some other platform like Android or Mac OS or Windows,
mhm.
then like .NET Core is giving something out of box. If you have something idea about this, like or what?
Mm, means you are trying to say ask like the same application we can like use in mobile or something you are asking, right?
Like this, this is like you said .NET Core is cross platform,
Mhm.
then means this web application is just the deployment thing is cross platform, or what is different in this startup file?
Cross-platform in the sense if you wanted to be run this one, right? If you are making the some services like or else like this is a web application you are creating in the same calling into that Windows kind. Currently we are using into the Windows, right? We are calling this one
Hmm.
in Windows operating system. It is working, but somehow you want this one implement and by using the Visual Studio in Mac or somewhere or some
Hmm.
Linux kind of things, and you are calling this URL like we have that this one URL, right? This URL we are
Yeah.
calling in that insidely the code by in operating system and Linux. So at that time previously it was making the problem. It was saying like it is not compatible for this operating system. But as of now,
Because of
yeah,
IIS.
right. We are because of IS, but now they have implemented inside the Kessler. You know that Kessler,
Huh.
right? So they have
Yeah.
implemented the Kessler. So due to the Kessler, these like kind of issues has been resolved. Now that everyone can use the Macs and Linux as well. Hope you got my answer, right?
Hi, that's the whole point. That means this app start or program file, that major change they have did. This change is only for hosting purpose. So
Right.
now .NET Core application can run on any environment, web application for
Right.
hosting purpose only, right?
Right.
That's
Right.
the
Right.
only thing. No?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Anything else apart from that? Or else I can wind up this call. I mean,
No.
No, we are
okay.
good to go.
Okay, thanks guys.